Yes, sir, we're officially back at it. This is Boog Nice coming at you with the Bandai Tamashii Nation's SH Figure Watch Dragon Ball Super Trunks figure review. Let's do it.
This ain't for no scalper. You a scalper? Then fuck out shit. This one's for them real collectors. That's army building and posing figures. Marvel Legends, imports, mini matey, I'm fucking with them. Hype beast, we know about you. Stay buying figs, don't know about it.
And there's a super quick look at the artwork on the side of the box. You can see the figure through the window in the front. Try not to get any glare, but let's bust this bad boy open, see what's what. Alright, so I've got the SHF Dragon Ball Super Future Trunks out of the package. I know this is one that has been highly anticipated from a lot of collectors. A lot of people still waiting for their pre-order. Obviously, I ordered mine directly from Japan. That's why I got them a little early. So here I am bringing you a review on the American side. On the Western side, I know that there's probably a couple of reviews out from people in Japan. But I'm pretty pleased with this guy so far. I think he came out nice. I think he's accurate. And I think you guys are going to like this figure. Let's get into his accessories. So it's been quite a while since I watched this particular arc, the Future Trunks arc of Dragon Ball Super. I watched the Japanese subs. I didn't wait around for the English dub. So I guess that makes me cool. I don't know. But yeah, I'm trying to do some of this off the top of the head as far as remembering what happened in that arc. But yeah, out of the package, he comes with 2 fists. There's a look at the wrist pegs. He's got a set of hands that are open with the fingers spread. Looks like these are positioned to showcase one of his energy attacks, the Gallic attack, if I'm not mistaken. You can see there's a little hole in the right hand so you can attach the effect part that comes with them. I'm actually do that right now before I get into the next set of hands. See if it'll focus. There you go. And that can be plugged right into the center of his right hand. And there's a look at that. That looks cool. It looks authentic. I don't really have any issues with that. He's got a set of hands that are open with the fingers fully spread. He's got a set of hands that are cupped, open. These are utilized for gripping his sword. So let's get into that. Camera's been kind of close, I see. But yeah, so there's a look at the sword. You can see the green handle. It's a really nice finish on the blade. It looks shiny. It looks metallic. It looks really good. It looks like you can pull off the bottom of the handle here. I believe that's how you attach the sword. Yeah, that was kind of hard to detach, but you can see that little piece that I'm about to lose. And then you can slip the handle into his hand and then attach the bottom back. And he's got his sword in hand. Very firm grip on there. I don't really have an issue. Looks good to me. And if it's one thing I can't stand, it's a character that wields a sword, but the action figure can't hold the sword with 2 hands. As you can see, that's not an issue here. He can hold it with either hand singularly, or he can hold it with both hands, and you can move the sword around, and the articulation is there, and the shoulders and elbows, where you can pretty much get him in whatever pose you want. I'm not going to go too nuts here because I didn't go over the articulation yet, but you can see the articulation is there, and he looks great holding the sword. I don't have any issues with this. I like this a lot. Pull this out a little bit so you can see. But yeah, man, you guys are going to have fun with this guy posing him up. And it should be noted that he comes with 1 additional interchangeable hand, which is a left hand that is open and kind of cupped there. So you can do whatever you want with that one. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of complete interchangeable hands and then 1 extra hand, if I'm not mistaken. Then he also comes with the sheath for his sword. You can see that it's brown with some green on the strap, some silver, a silver buckle there, and some silver at the top where you actually sheath the sword. And it detaches here with a little peg. I hope there's no issues with this particular one. The original Trunks that they released had an issue here where the peg had actually broke off in the back of the figure on mine, and then I think this strap had broke too, but it doesn't look like you'll be pegging this into his back. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But you do have to pop off his head here, and then you can take off his bandana and put this around. Oh, I got it backwards. And I don't know if you have to. Oh, there is a peg for the back, so hopefully there's no issue with that. I know you can't even see what's going on, but hopefully there's no issue with that. Looks like it pegs in with no problem. And then I'll tap this back in, and it should be noted that the bandana does tab in too, so it is fixed in position there. There is a little tab. That'll keep that in place. And put his head back on, and he's good to go. No problems there. I think that looks fine. And he's also packed in with this broken sword, which actually serves a dual purpose, because I do believe at some point in the arc that his sword got broken, or at some point in some arc his sword got broken. So you can use this to represent the broken sword, but it also doubles as his fully sheathed sword as well. So that was cool. That was clever. I thought that was a good idea. And he can hold this with no issue. I believe it's the same thing as far as detaching the bottom. Yes, so you can get that in his hand with no issue. Not going to go through that right now. And you know what? I do have to put this in his hand because this broken sword actually serves three purposes. So you can actually utilize this to help with his final sort of sword effect. And that would be his Sword of Hope effect, which, alright, so I'm starting to remember, I guess. I think his sword got broken, and then he came back and did some sort of energy effect with his sword and came with this huge sword, pause. And yeah, so this thing has some weight to it. As you can see, it's sort of translucent. Looks like it'll reflect light nicely. You could probably get some really nice effects going with this thing here. And then you can attach this to the front of the broken sword. But obviously, because it's so heavy, he's not going to really be able to hold it up on his own. So they gave you a stand. This thing is super heavy, look. But let me break out this stand. And the stand comes in three parts. So there's a base, and then there's the arm that attaches to the base. And then there's this portion, which looks like it attaches to the sword. And I guess this attaches to the front. I'm not looking at the directions. Yeah, that looks like it's right. And then we can do one of these numbers, and he can hold up the sword with that base like that. And that looks awful. But, you know, you'll be able to finesse it when you get your A.C.B.A on. You'll be able to finesse this and make it look authentic and use different perspective and different things to make it look good. Let me spin them around. There you go. And you know how these animes do. This is oddly erotic. Alright, moving right along. And his final accessories are different faceplates or head sculpts. So just take a close look at this one, which looks good. In my opinion, it looks accurate to the anime. You can see the blue eyebrows, blue eyes, blue hair. I don't really have any issues with the shape. I think it looks good. And like with most DBZ figures from SHF, you can pull off the front of his hair, and then you can remove the faceplate from the back of the head. And then swap on whatever else you have. And there's a look at that. So he's got a sort of screaming, angry face version. I don't know, I think this looks a little soft. I mean, I think the previous faceplate looked a little soft as well. And then moving into his powered up head sculpts, this is one of two Super Saiyan looks for him. So you can see he's angry with the teeth gritted. And that looks good. I don't really have an issue with that. And same deal here with swapping out things, except this was a complete additional head sculpt that had two face plates. So there was one that was actually attached out of the package, which is the one that I'm putting on now, which was the screaming face with his mouth actually open. So this is how it was in the clamshell, but I gave you the sort of default head first. So there he is with the screaming face, and I think that looks dope. That's pretty much it in terms of accessories. So taking a close look at his deco and going over the articulation, like I mentioned, I do think that this is accurate. It looks good to me. I don't really see any problems with his deco. He's got his signature red bandana, his treyway, and the blue jacket with the gray pants. The boots look good. Everything looks good here, man. You know, SHF is always good for is always good for paint applications. They do a good job. And they do a good job of matching things up to the anime or the movie. They don't really take too many liberties as far as that goes. So no complaints with the deco. Great amount of articulation on this guy. The head and neck is a separate piece. If you could look down in there, you can see I've got the neck turned kind of the wrong way right now. So actually, let me just pull this off for a second and turn his neck the right way. But yeah, you can see how that works. And you can see that there's a ball peg that actually can be rotated as well. So again, you get a very nice range of motion on the head and neck. You may have to detach the head and finagle with it a bit to get his head really far back and get some other things going, but no complaints there. And yeah, that the front of his hair is casting a shadow over his face, but it's all good. So shoulders, they're on a ball joint. You get a really nice range of motion in the shoulders, so they can rotate. You get a nice butterfly joint there. You can see how far inward his arms can come in, and that obviously assists when he's wielding a sword, as you saw. You do get rotation here, actually not really at the upper bicep, but just a bit down, which also helps with you with him wielding a sword. You get a double jointed elbow, you get a swivel and a hinge on the wrist. This area, like I said, the shoulders are great. You get upper torso articulation, so he can rotate there, move left to right, back and forward. You get a little more articulation in the lower abdomen as well, so you can crunch him down a decent amount. I would have liked for that to have a bit more range, but it's not awful, and you can actually turn them left and right, upper torso and lower torso at the waist, so that's good. This here is a separate piece, so it's not hindering the articulation there at all. This is that new system that they've been utilizing for quite some time here in the pelvis area, so legs are going to come up really far and they'll go out. You can see that joint in there and how that looks. You can rotate them at the upper thigh. You do get a double jointed knee. Is there rotation at the boot? No, but you get a hinge and a swivel and a pivot on the foot, and you also get a toe joint as well. So you're going to be able to get them into some great poses, no question about that. And I didn't do this, but just so you can see, you can get pivot and it'll rotate. You get a very nice range, like I said. And here's a quick Trunks size comparison. So on the far left is the Super Saiyan Trunks, and then this newer Future Trunks in the middle, and then on the far right is the re-release of the first Trunks that they put out, if I'm not mistaken, but this one was updated, less accessories, but updated with some better articulation and face scans and what have you, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I guess I'll try to swap some of these heads out. I really don't know how the heads go and the sagas go, to be honest with you. I can't really tell you. You're gonna have to wait for Pancho or somebody to review this to give you the insight on that, and I am like totally out of the loop as far as all of those demonical fit heads go and all of that stuff. So I can't really get into those things, but I can tell you if these heads can be swapped in between the two and between the three, excuse me. And I don't know if it would be accurate to anything. I can't tell you. I'm a casual Dragon Ball Z fan who has surprisingly picked up every single figure from the Dragon Ball Z line, from the SHF Dragon Ball Z line, except one. And some of them have come and gone. Like I sold the original Trunks release. I sold one of the original Gokus. And the only one that I never picked up was the like anime colors Vegeta. But anyway, let's see how these swap out between the three. Okay, so this is the new Future Trunks Super Saiyan head on the older regular Trunks body. Looks a little large. As you can see, you know, they're all different sizes with the Super Saiyan Trunks being the largest and this guy being the smallest, but I guess if you wanted to finesse this in some way, it is possible. So obviously those heads between Future Trunks and this Trunks can be swapped out. Alright, I lied. So this is the regular Trunks head on the Future Trunks body. It's not actually pegged on there completely. I don't know if you can actually get it on there if you would want to force it, but you could kind of sit it on there and finesse that. I don't know that you would want to do that because, again, I don't think that's the right look, obviously, for him. But this head does fit on this body. And Super Saiyan Trunks' head can fit onto the Future Trunks body because the peg hole is larger, so it just kind of sits on there. It's loose. But you're not going to be able to swap on the Future Trunks head onto the Super Saiyan armor body. That's not gonna work. There's the Future Trunks relaxed or powered down head on the original Trunks body, or the second release of Trunks. And again, this ball peg on the Super Saiyan Trunks is larger than the peg hole for the Future Trunks, so you're not going to really be able to fit it on there, but maybe you could finesse it and have a powered down version. Alright, one final size comparison here with some of the major players from the Trunks slash Goku Black arc. So on the far left we have the Super Saiyan Vegeta. I tried to break out some of the newer bucks from SHF. So Super Saiyan Vegeta on a new buck. We've got the Son Goku on a new buck. Obviously, Future Trunks is brand new, and then we've got Goku Black, which I know is one that was slipped through a lot of people's fingers, and they didn't pull the trigger at the right time. At some point, he had popped up at a bunch of toy shows. I'm not sure how his secondary market price is looking right now, but if you missed out, that's kind of unfortunate. And it's a great time to be a Dragon Ball Z collector. They just actually teased images of Gogeta, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Vegeta, and Super Saiyan Broly from this new movie that's about to drop. So I know a lot of people are excited about that. And I got one more thing that will go that coincides with the Trunks arc, which is the time machine. The I guess it's the figurized model kit time machine, which I guess I'll show in this review real quick and then get out of here. Alright, so just like the Star Wars Black Series vehicles go really well with the SH Figuarts figures, the figurized model kits, some of their vehicles go really well with the Dragon Ball Z, with the SHF Dragon Ball Z figures. So you see the figurized time machine here, which I built a year or so ago. And you can see how massive that is. You can see my light sticking out on the left over there, but you can see how massive that is. It is not exactly in scale as far as sitting Trunks inside there. The seat is kind of big, but it is in scale still. It's kind of weird. I think it works really, really well as an accent piece or whatever you want to do as far as displaying goes. So it's something that I would definitely recommend if you have Trunks on the way, and if you already have Goku Black and you want to kind of put together some scenes and do some A.C.B.A. from that particular arc. It is still available at Big Bad Toy Store. The link will be in the description below. And this figure came out good, man. I think this is one that it's a crowd pleaser. It's good, and it's one that I would definitely recommend. So get out there, get on a hunt, try to find it. If you can still get him directly from Japan and save a couple bucks, then do it. But if you have to get him domestically, the price is actually not that much different. And I guess a link for Trunks will be in the description below as well. I think he's still in stock at BBTS. All right. So as always, rate, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.
That's crispy.